Arman had always wondered why some people naturally earned respect, while others struggled for even the smallest acknowledgement. He was a calm, quiet young man living in a small town, and although he never wished to be famous, he deeply desired that people would value his voice, his presence, and his efforts. But unfortunately, he was often ignored at school, at work, even among his closest friends. One day, after yet another meeting where his ideas were dismissed as if they had never been spoken, Arman walked out feeling frustrated. He sat on a bench near the old town library, the one most people had forgotten even existed. As he leaned back and closed his eyes, an elderly man with silver hair and warm, thoughtful eyes sat down beside him. "You look troubled," the old man said kindly. Arman sighed. "I just don't understand. Why don't people take me seriously? I try so hard. I really do. But no one listens. I want people's respect, not their pity." The old man nodded, as though he recognized the pain. "Respect," he said softly, "is not something people hand over freely. It is earned in small, almost invisible ways." Arman looked at him skeptically. "Invisible ways?" The old man chuckled. "Let me tell you a story. By the end of it, you may understand more than you expect." The old man introduced himself as Rahim. He explained that many years ago, he had been just like Arman, soft-spoken, unnoticed, and often overlooked. But one day, Rahim said, "I realized something powerful. People listen to those who listen to them first." He described how he started practicing active listening, not just waiting for his turn to speak, but truly focusing on what others were saying. He stopped interrupting, stopped forming replies in his head, and instead focused on understanding. At first, people were surprised. Then they began to open their hearts to me. They saw me as someone who respected them. Naturally, they began respecting me back. Arman thought about it. He had always been so focused on being heard that he rarely listened deeply. Maybe this was where he needed to begin. Rahim continued. "Once, I promised a neighbor that I would help him repair his broken fence. It was a small promise, but I kept it, even though my week was very busy." Arman frowned. "Just fixing a fence earned you respect?" Rahim smiled. "It's never about the fence. It's about the promise." He explained how people in the neighborhood began to trust him. They knew that if Rahim promised something, he would fulfill it. Over time, this reliability earned him greater responsibilities and even greater respect. "Respect," Rahim said, "is built on trust. And trust is built on consistency." Arman nodded slowly. He realized he had made many small promises in life. Some he kept. Many he forgot. Rahim shared another memory from his youth, when he worked in a busy local marketplace. One day, two vendors got into a heated argument over a customer. Voices rose, crowds gathered, and tension filled the air. But Rahim remained calm. "I simply walked between them," he said. "I spoke gently and reminded them that customers were watching, that their anger would only harm their reputation." The two vendors calmed down. The crowd dispersed. "That day," Rahim said, "I learned that the calmest person in the room becomes the most respected." Arman smiled. He knew he had a tendency to spill his emotions when things went wrong. Perhaps calmness was a strength he needed to develop. Rahim's next story touched Arman more than he expected. Many years ago, Rahim had met a student who couldn't afford textbooks. Without telling anyone, Rahim bought the books and left them anonymously at the school office with a note that read, "For the one who dreams." Years later, the student, now a teacher, discovered who had helped him and returned to thank Rahim. "That was when I learned the value of quiet kindness," Rahim said. "When you help without expecting anything, the world finds ways to repay you." Arman felt something shift inside him. Maybe respect wasn't something to chase, it was something that returned naturally when you gave to others. Rahim explained that honesty had always guided him, but honesty alone wasn't enough. Honest words, he said, were like sharp tools, they must be used gently. He told Arman about a friend who once asked for his opinion on a business idea that had many flaws. Instead of saying, "This will fail," Rahim said, "Your idea has potential, but here are a few risks you should consider." His friend accepted the advice with gratitude. "If honesty is delivered with kindness," Rahim said, "people respect you, not resent you." Arman understood. He had always believed bluntness was the same as honesty. Now he saw the difference. As the sun began to set, Rahim slowly stood up. "I have shared my lessons," he said. "Now you must live them." Before leaving, he placed a gentle hand on Arman's shoulder. "Respect is not a destination," he said. "It is a journey of who you become." Arman watched him walk away, a strange warmth filling his chest. He felt as though a door had opened inside him. In the weeks that followed, Arman began applying Rahim's lessons. 1. He listened more than he spoke. People at work noticed his attentiveness. They started including him in discussions. 2. He kept his promises. Whether a friend needed help or a supervisor needed a task completed, Arman delivered consistently. 3. He remained calm during conflicts. When a coworker snapped at him over a misunderstanding, Arman responded patiently. Later, the coworker apologized. 4. He helped quietly. He covered shifts for colleagues without announcing it. He offered support to neighbors without expecting anything in return. He spoke honestly, but gently. People trusted his feedback because they felt respected by him. Day by day, Arman noticed the change. People greeted him warmly. Co-workers asked for his opinion. Friends valued his company. He had not demanded respect, he had earned it. One cool evening, Arman returned to the old library bench, hoping to meet Rahim again. But the bench was empty, except for a small folded note lying on the seat. Arman picked it up. Inside, in neat handwriting, were the words, "Respect grows from character. The day you focus on becoming better, the world starts seeing you better." Rahimian. The Monsking. Rahimian. Rahimin. 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 Arman smiled as he folded the note. He finally understood. Respect isn't something you ask for, it's something you become worthy of. And he had begun that journey.